Hello, and thanks for clicking on this video. So this video is about the fourth tenet of the customer-centric approach to business. That is that businesses are systems that deliver value. Business are systems that deliver value. So it was a few years ago that I was introduced to systems thinking by Peter Senge and a couple of books that he wrote, and there's a lot of YouTube clips on Peter Senge and the whole idea. But it's actually how things come together. It's the collection of processes, it's a collection of systems, it's a collection of how things work. Now, in the industrial age, we didn't worry too much about that. Management back then was about controlling things. So there was silos that had to produce certain things at a certain rate of cost. There was then a chain that happened, and then they distributed product out, for example. Businesses are systems that deliver value, and it's even more important to us today because we're in an economy that's based on experience. We're in an economy that's based on an exchange of value, a fair exchange of value. So when we think about our businesses as a collective of systems, we tend to move away from the idea that we want to hold one person accountable for one particular silo and one person accountable for another particular KPI or function. And then we spend most of our time trying to get those people to collaborate. Okay? Goes against the grain. We know that. What we need to do is recognize that the whole business is a system that delivers value, and the value is delivered for the customer. That means then that everyone needs to collaborate across the chain, across the system, to deliver a set of value for the customer. And when that value is delivered, the customers then will choose to do all sorts of behavior. They can repurchase. They will be less price sensitive. They will resubscribe if they're subscribing. If they're not getting value, they won't resubscribe. If they are getting good value from your organization, they will promote. That is, they will give positive word of mouth. Friends, family, colleagues, social media. If they are not getting good value from your business, they will give you negative word of mouth. And people love doing that on social media these days. The voice that people have is absolutely compound more now than it ever has been before. So businesses are systems that deliver value, and the value is the value the customer gets. So the organization delivers a two-way set of value. There's a couple of key things in this, and that we recognize that it's a perception of value from the customer. It may not be exactly what the business thinks it is, but it's the perception of the customer that is value. And it's that perception that drives their future behavior. So for example, if we have marketing messages going out from the marketing team who are doing the engagement with customers in the early phase, and those messages are really cool and they engage with the customer based on the values the customer has and the principles that they have and all those sorts of things, they then come involved with a sales team who have a different KPI. And they would then be working on a different set of values and ideas about what they know helps convert customers, and they will then start to interact with those customers differently. What often happens there is the fallout rate, or the absolutely becoming from a potential customer to a customer, drops significantly, because as an individual you feel that there's something not quite right. The messages and the value that brought you into the organization then just don't work, because these people are saying something different. So intuitively we get a sense that something's not genuine. Same if we then get that part right and we have this promise of all this service and the great benefits that come from the products or services that we're offering, and then we get to talk to the service people. And the service people, because they're underpaid and they're undervalued inside the organization, they don't have much budget for training and all that sort of thing, they end up getting, or they might be measured on, if you talk to them on the phone, on call handling time, they might be not wanting to listen to you after 2 minutes. The whole thing is about delivering value, and if it's not congruent and if it's not a consistent message about reinforcing why the customer should be engaged with that business, the perception of value for the customer will diminish. And when it does that, their future behavior is dependent on that. They'll leave, they'll tell their friends it was not as good as what they thought it was, and a whole lot of bad things will happen. So we have to think about businesses as being systems that deliver value for the customer. And when we understand what that value is, we can communicate it clearly across the chain, and we communicate it clearly to the customer and make sure that we deliver it. And we deliver that value on purpose and on promise. And for those customers then, they become more profitable, they become promoters, and they become great customers and advocates for the business itself. But thinking about the business as a system that delivers value is the key step to getting away from all of those things that divides the business into silos and gets people hitting their KPIs and numbers rather than delivering value. Second, the fourth tenet of the customer-centric approach to business is businesses are systems that deliver value. Thanks for watching.